All right, here is CLOAK to the BTC. Very interesting and attractive, as far as I can see. So if you look at the whole thing, the first thing I would do is look at the patterns. There's a wedge. I can call that fractal 1. Second one, and the third one. So when you have a repeat of fractals, 3 consecutively, they're not exact. And they don't have to be exact. That's not what a fractal means. A fractal really means that they just have a high degree of similarity. And because of that high degree of similarity, it can help you guide as to what the next likely probable price move could be. And it could complement the Elliott wave analysis. That is why I quite often use the chart patterns to complement the Elliott wave analysis. And here I'm going to label 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 shows that 5 is pretty extended. That wave 5 is, I think, more than twice, yep, the length of wave 1. So when you get an extended fifth, what do? You take your profits, as soon as you realize there's more than almost 2 point or 1.68, a height of 3, you can see and be suspected of an extended fifth wave. And then you start selling in 25% increments. And when you get that extended fifth, the reason why you sell is because you're going to get a very deep retracement to the level of prior wave 2. And that would be around here. And price came pretty much to it in the second fractal. And if you didn't sell and take your profits, because you thought it'll go higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, you were afraid of missing out on that. Unfortunately, then greed had a very sneaky way of coming into your unconscious and control the way you saw the situation, control the way you perceived your current state, and started controlling how your decision making process was going to happen. So you have to be really very on the lookout. In my 20 plus years of experience, my greatest gain has not been in the profits. My greatest gain has not been in the analysis methods. My greatest gain has been more in self-discovery to better output self-discipline. Self-discovery in that, not so much in that am I a good person or am I a bad person, no. Self-discovery in that, how do I truly react to greed and fear? And what can I do to counter my human impulses in the zone of greed and fear? That is why I came up with the laddering technique, to ladder myself out, ladder myself in, to eliminate as much as possible buyer's remorse and seller's remorse. Now you could sell here, extend the fifth, and let's say this went another 2 times higher. Do you kick yourself for not staying in? Nope. How in God's name would anyone have known? What I do is I remain very grateful for my profits, even if it goes another twofold. Couldn't care less, because that from that twofold is just a more of an extended fifth, and it'll just crash just as much to wave 2. Wave 2 isn't going to move higher because wave 5 extends higher. No, it'll just be a bigger fall. That's why still at least laddering out in quarters will allow you to catch some of that rise as it's rising. And you're not going to get the tippy top. If you do, it's pure luck, pure chance. But if you have the discipline to know that once we are at 2 times wave 3, you start getting out, taking your profits. And more often than not, it'll save you bacon. But to have the discipline to act on those against your natural impulses is what really makes a great investor and a trader. I think Warren Buffett at heart is truly a technical analyst. For someone to say, be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. That is the true meaning of a contrarian. Okay, so let's say you took your profits and you see an ABC or however you want to count this, and you say, wow, I think this is the bottom. Everybody get back in. This is the end of the correction. Cryptos don't usually work that way, especially the altcoins. None of the altcoins are right now mature enough to have a very brief, short V type of a correction. Bitcoin is, and probably the top 5, maybe the top 10, but not CLOAK. CLOAK has to be a time Pac-Man. It has to eat time. Observe how long it took to put in the impulse waves. So the time of the correction so far is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, more than 5 times. And this is what I mean by hurry up and the wait, which is a correction. But the bullishness does not get wiped out. This is basically a correction. So once this correction is done, what could be potential? Well, we know that after this one, there was a burst. After the second wedge, there was a burst. Here's a third wedge. Do you think there will be a burst? I think so. And that burst will most likely be in the form of an impulse. All right, I hope this has been helpful. I try to give out every little bit nuggets here and there. From experience, I'm hoping that those can be helpful as well. I'm pretty sure it will be for many of you. Thank you and have a good day.